So in this video we're going to be programming some more logic inside the player class. So that'll include the ability to attack other countries and also move units between countries that the player controls. So for moving units between countries that we control, we obviously need multiple countries to do that. And at the start of the game, we only start off as a single country. Actually, I'm going to remove that Spain we added just for testing and also printing the neighbours. So rather than program move units first, it will be easier to program attack country, and then after we can attack multiple countries, we can then move units between those multiple countries. So for attacking countries, I'm going to start off by adding a couple of variables inside of the country class. Now the country class is in our geo module, and down here I'm going to add two more Boolean variables. Firstly, one is self has attacked, so this is to indicate whether the country has made an attack this turn, because we only want countries to be able to attack once per attack phase. The other Boolean variable we're going to, actually not a Boolean variable, but the other variable we're going to add is a string indicating which country or nation or team is currently controlling this country, so whether it's part of an empire. So I'm going to add this as self.controlledby, and we're going to initialize it as the name of the country itself. So at the start of the game, each country obviously controls itself, but then if it's conquered by a player or an AI, then it will belong to the country of that team. So now that we've done that, we can move back to our player script, and we're going to start working in our attack country method. But again, I'm going to add a couple of variables inside of the player class to help us with this method. So these variables are for attacking countries, and I'm going to have two strings, one to indicate which country we are attacking from, and another variable to indicate which country we are attacking. So these are going to be called self.attack country from, initialize it as an empty string, and then the other one is going to be attack country 2, again an empty string. So now moving back to our method, I'm going to start programming the logic. So the first part of this is, if we're in the attack countries phase, we want to select the country that we control to attack another country. So I'm going to say if self.attack country from is empty, so that's how we initialized it. And now I'm going to iterate through all of the countries that we control. So for country and self.controlled countries, I'm going to extract the actual country class from the world. So that's self.world countries, and we can use the key country. And then I'm going to say if we are currently hovering this country and we click on it, so that will be pg.mouse.getPressed, and that's the first element. And then the final the final Boolean logic that we want to put into here is we only want to select a country that has not attacked. So and not c.has attacked. Yeah. So this is our way of preventing countries attacking more than once. So if we meet these three conditions, we're going to say self.attack country from is the name of this country. And for now, I'm just going to print to the console that we have chosen this country to attack from. So attacking from, and we can do self.attack country from. Okay. Then the next part is, once we have selected a country to attack from, we need to select another country to attack. So first we're going to say we only want to select this country if we've already selected a country to attack from. So if self.attack country 2 is an empty string, and self.attack country from is not an empty string, so indicating that we have chosen a country to attack from. Then the countries that we are allowed to attack will be the neighbouring countries. So we're going to extract the country that we are attacking from, and we're going to look at its neighbours, and then we'll be able to choose one of those neighbours to attack. So for country in self.world.countries, self.attack country from, so this is the country we're attacking from, and we can take the neighbours inside of that country class, and then we can say if this country is not in our control territories, because we don't want to attack countries that we already control, so we're going to say if country not in self.controlled countries, then extract the country, so self.world.countries again, this will be country, and then similarly as we did before, we're going to say if c.hovered, so if the mouse is over that country and we click, so let's get pressed again, then we're going to say self.attack country 2 is equal to the name of this country, and again I'm going to print to the console. So attacking self.attack country 2. Okay. So these two bits of logic allow us to choose where we are attacking from and where we want to attack to. The other thing that we may want to implement is just cancelling or deselecting these countries, just in case we make a mistake and accidentally click on a country we don't want to. So I'm going to put in a bit of logic here just for cancelling the selection, and that's simply going to be if we right click with the mouse, it's going to reset these country values. So if pg.mouse.getPressed, and this time we're taking the right click, which is the third element, then we are going to reset these values. But self.attack country from is an empty string, and self.attack country 2 is an empty string. So resetting our selections. The final thing we're going to do is program when, we've selected our countries to attack from and to attack to, then hitting the enter key, we're actually going to launch the attack. So this is going to be mostly placeholder code now, because what we're going to do is eventually put a kind of battle logic inside of the world class. The reason for that is eventually when we have programmed the AI can also trigger battles. It's not just the player. So it's much better to have this kind of battle logic in a more general class like the world, rather than specifically the player, because we'll also have to implement it inside of the AI classes. So for battle, we're going to first get some keys, because we're going to use the enter key, and then we're going to say if keys pg.k return, so that's the enter key, and we have selected a country to attack from, so that's not equal to an empty string, and we've also selected a country to attack to. So again, if self.attack country 2 is not equal to an empty string, so these will be our conditions for launching a battle. And this will be our placeholder code for now, which we will change, but I'm going to say c equals self.world.countries, and we are going to extract the country that we're attacking, because the logic we're going to do now very simply is if we attack another country, we instantly conquer it and add it to our controlled territories. So we're going to have to edit some of the variables of the country that we're attacking. So this is why we're extracting the attack country 2. And then we're going to say c.controlled by is now going to be controlled by the attack country from, or this could be the name of the player, maybe that's slightly better. So we can do self.country.name. We're also going to set the color of this country to give a visual indicator that it now belongs to us. So this is also going to be changed to the color of the player. Then we're going to add it or append it to our list of controlled countries. So that'll be c.name. Now that we have added a new country to the countries that we control, it's very important that we recalculate our neighbors, because now the neighbors of all the countries we control has changed. We're going to call the getNeighbors method again. So self.neighbors equals self.getNeighbors. Finally, I'm going to print some of this to the console. So we're going to say self.attackCountry from has defeated self.attackCountry2. And lastly, we're now that the battle is finished, we are going to reset our variables. Okay, so these are going to be set back to empty strings. Now we can test whether this has worked. So just by looking at the console, basically. So I'm going to run the game. I'm going to move it up a bit so that we can see the country. We need to move into our attack phase. Now hopefully I should be able to click on France, and it says, yeah, we're attacking from France. And let's attack Spain, so attacking Spain. And I'm going to press enter, and then it says France has defeated Spain, and we can see that now Spain has taken this blue color that we have as France. So that seems to be working fine for now. Okay, now that that's working, we're going to program the battle logic within the world class, which is going to be our kind of general method of managing battles, which can be triggered either by the player or by an AI. So let's go to Geo. We'll go right down to the bottom. Let me just remove this terminal for now. And then we're going to create a new method called battle. So this method is going to take two arguments. Firstly, the attacking country, and secondly, the defending country. So we can do attacking country. This is going to be a string, and defending country is also going to be a string. And we are going to return nothing from this method, but it's going to store some battle information that can then be resolved in the main game loop. So I'm going to extract both the attacking and the defending country, so using these strings, so taking self.countries and extracting them. So AC and DC, so this is going to be defending country. Then I'm going to say that AC has attacked equals true, which will prevent us from attacking twice with the same country. So that's that. I'm then going to initialize a dictionary of information that we can use in multiple ways. Firstly, to resolve the battle, but also to print information to the screen about what happened in that battle. So it's going to basically store anything that we might find useful to know about this battle. So firstly, going to store which a country was attacking, which is like that, and secondly, which country was being attacked, which is the defending country. Then we're going to store another piece of information, whether the battle was victorious or not. We're going to initialize that as false for now. And we're also going to keep track of how many losses there were for each country. So firstly, this is the attacking country losses, and this relates to the number of units that the country lost during the battle, which is going to be initialized as 0, and the same with the defending country, again, so that's 0. And now we're going to move on to our battle logic. So this is going to be a kind of iterative battle. So there's and each iteration there's only going to be one unit lost from either the attacking country or the defending country. Sorry, that should be just DC. So it's going to be a while loop. So this this loop will continue until the battle has finished. And our conditions for a battle finishing will be either that the attacking country has effectively run out of units to attack the defending country. So that's going to be ac.units must be greater than 1, because if it's just 1, basically it can't attack another country because it needs to have at least 1 unit inside the country. So if it has just 1, then that 1 unit has to stay in the country. The second condition for staying in the while loop or breaking the while loop is whether the defending country has run out of units. Because if the defending country has run out of units, then effectively that's a victorious battle and the attacking country wins. So we're going to say if dc.units is greater than 0, because if it's 0, the defending country has no more units to defend and it's lost. Now what we're going to do is effectively simulate rolling dice to see which country wins. And I'm going to take a bit of logic that I think is used in Risk, where if you have more units from the attacking country attacking the defending country, you get 2 dice rolls rather than 1. So I'm going to say, well, rather the difference between the attacking country units and the defending country units. So if ac.units minus dc.units is greater than 2, so if let's say if the attacking country has 5 and the defending country has 2, then we're going to get 2 dice rolls rather than 1, which encourages moving large number of units into a country before attacking. So we're going to say attack dice equals, and we're going to roll 2 dice and take the maximum of those 2 dice. So we're going to use random rand int 16. So this is our dice basically, and we're going to roll this dice twice and take the maximum roll of these 2 dice. If we don't outnumber the defending country by this amount, the attack dice is only going to be a single roll. So that's rand int again 16, and the defending dice is just going to be a simple single roll. So again, using the same logic. And to give the defending country a little bit of an edge, we're going to say if the attack dice is strictly greater than the defend dice, so that gives the defending dice a slight advantage because it's not greater than or equal to. So if both of these are 3, for example, then the defending country will win. So in this case, if the attacking country attack dice is greater than defend dice, the attacking country has won this particular fight, and so we're going to decrease the number of units in the defending country by 1, and we are going to incrementally add the defending country losses by 1, like this. Otherwise, we're going to do the same logic but for the attacking country. So it's going to be attack.units, so that should be minus equal to 1, and we're going to do a similar thing, and we're going to incrementally increase the attacking country losses, so like that. Finally, we're going to say if the defending country units reaches 0, and so this logic will actually exit us from the while loop because it doesn't meet this condition anymore. But what we're going to say is this victory is, well, this is a victory, so we can set the victory equals to true. Okay, so this is all the logic we need. So depending on how many units are fighting each other, they're going to keep battling it out until either the defending country runs out of units or the attacking country doesn't have enough units to attack. But that's all the logic we need. Finally, once we're finished with this while loop, I'm going to say if res victory, so if the defending country has run out of units, which will make res victory equals true, a country cannot have 0 units. So what we're going to have to do is do dc.units equals 1. So setting it to equal to 1. But this unit has to have come from somewhere. So we're going to take a unit from the attacking country. Yeah. So the attacking country wins the battle, and it must place one of its units now in the defending country. So ac.units minus equal 1. So incrementally remove 1 unit. And then finally what we're going to do is we're going to store this dictionary of information within the world class, and then we can use it in other parts of the game. So let's see, self.battleRes equals res, and I am going to initialize this battleRes. I'm just going to put it here as none, but then when there's a battle, obviously, then we're going to set this this variable to have that dictionary of information. So now that we've programmed that inside the world class, we can trigger this battle method, the one we've just programmed, from within the player class. So going to the player class, going to our battle section, we are going to say self.world.battle. Attacking country is going to be self.attackCountry from, and the defending country is going to be attack country to. And just for testing purposes, I'm going to print the information of this battle. So self.world.battleRes. And we can give it a quick test to see if that is working. So I'm going to go to main. I'm going to run the game. Again, we're going to move to our attacking phase. Attacking from France, attacking to Spain. I'm going to press enter. And here we can see that we did not win the battle. I mean, of course, we've programmed it to always win, but we're going to change that shortly. Then what happened is that France lost 1 unit, and Spain also lost 1 unit, and then France didn't have enough units to continue the fight, and so that was not a victorious battle. So to finish all the battle logic, we're going to do 2 things. Firstly is write a small method within the player class for conquering a country. And then secondly, we are going to resolve all the battle stuff within the main game loop. So I'm going to firstly program this little method called conquer, and it's going to take in 1 argument, and that is this new country that we are going to conquer. It's going to return none. And we're going to say, if we are conquering this country, firstly, we're going to set its color to our color, the color of the player. Secondly, we're going to change the controlled by variable of that country. So that is, controlled by, yeah. And that's going to be self.country.name. Then we're going to append the country. So actually it's just this stuff really. So I'm going to copy and paste here. And this is going to be country instead, and that looks fine. Then finally moving to our game class, and here is where we're going to resolve the battles. So in the update method, I'm going to say if self.world.battleRes, so that's the dictionary of the battle information, if it's not equal to none, meaning a battle has occurred, we want to resolve this battle, and so we're going to say if self.world.battleRes victory, so that if the battle was victorious for the attacking country, and then we're going to say if self.world.battleRes attacking country. So if the country that launched the attack is within the countries that is currently controlled by the player, and this battle was victorious, then this new country, the country that was defending, will now belong to the player. So I'm going to finish this by saying if the attacking country is in the controlled countries of the player, then we're going to do self.player.conquer, the method we just wrote, and it will conquer the defending country in this case. So that's we can find out what that is by going to the battle res again and extracting the defending country. And I am going to print this just so we can see what's happening in the console and look for bugs, etc. And then finally, now that this has been resolved, and this will get more complicated once we have AI and stuff, but for now we just have a player. We're going to do self.world.battleres equals none. And I'm going to quickly tidy up the player class because we don't need any of this because it's now being done inside the world and game class. So now let's, I think this looks okay, so we can go to main. So we can now test out to see if it's working. So going to main, running the game. I'm going to place a lot of units in France to make sure that we win this battle and to make sure that the logic is working. So France now has 10 units. We're going to move to the attacking phase. Going to click on France to attack from France. Then we're going to click on Spain to attack Spain, pressing enter. And so let's see. So yes, we can see that this was a victorious battle. The attacking country, so France, didn't lose any units. Spain lost its 2 units, but we can see that France has moved from 10 units to 9 units because this 1 unit in Spain has come from France. So all of these numbers look like they are adding up correctly. So that seems to be working. Okay, now we're going to work on our move units method. Again, I'm going to store some variables in the player class. So this is for moving units, and very similar to the attacking country's logic. We're going to have move country from empty string and move country to empty string. And the other variable that we want to have is the number of units that we want to move. And we're going to call this move n units and initialize this as 0. Then going to the move units method. It's going to be pretty similar to the attacking country. So we're going to say if self.move country from is an empty string. And then what we want to do is iterate through the countries that we control and select a country that we want to move units from. So this is going to be identical to all of this logic. Then we're going to say move country from is the name of this country that we've just selected. And again, I'm going to put a print statement and I'm going to put moving from, and this should be move country from. And then the second part is going to be where do we want to move units to. So that's if self.move country to is empty string. And also whether we have selected a move country from, so that's self.move country from is not equal to an empty string. Now this deviates slightly from the attacking logic because we only want to move countries, we only want to move units between countries we control. So for this we're going to again iterate through countries that we control, and each time we're going to select the country from the world class. And then we're going to say if this country is being hovered and we click, and that the name of the country is not equal to the country that we're moving from, because it makes no sense to move move units from the country we control to the same country. So that we can do that with c.name not equal to self.move country from. So if all these conditions are met, then we can say self.move country to is equal to c.name, and again we are going to include a print statement. So this is going to moving to and move country to here. Again, we're going to add in some cancellation logic. So if pg.mouse.get pressed, then we are going to reset all of these variables, so that's move.country from, move country to, and also the move n units back to 0. Finally, what we're going to do is program the logic for selecting the number of units we want to move from the country. So I'm going to extract the keys again, because we're going to use the arrow keys for now, and I'm going to say if self.move country from is not equal to empty string, and the same for move country to. Then I'm going to extract to the two countries. So first we can have c from self.will.countries and self.move country from, and c2 is going to be the same but for the country we're moving to. So that's self.move country to. And for increasing the number of units that we want to move, we're going to use the up arrow key. So if keys pg.key up, and we're also going to make use of a timer. So I'm just going to use this here. So time.getTicks. The reason for this is obviously when we press the arrow key, it's going to register multiple times. And really we want to increase it by 1 each time we press. So I'm going to do then now this can be and now minus self.timer is greater than 200. And then the final piece of logic is we need to make sure that we have enough units to move from that country. So if a country has 5 units, it doesn't make sense to move 6 units from that country. So I'm going to say if c from dot units minus self dot move n units is greater than 1. So if we meet these conditions, firstly we're going to reset the timer. That should be of equals. But then we're going to increment. We're going to add 1 unit to this move n units, so plus equals to 1. We are going to print this information to the console. So number of units to move is going to be self.move n units. And we're going to do very similar logic, but for decreasing the number of units. So this is going to be if keys pg.k down, and again the timer logic. And for the unit logic, it's going to be slightly different because we're decreasing units. We just need to make sure that self.move n units is positive. Basically, it doesn't go below 0. So we're going to put self.move.n units has to be greater than 0. Otherwise, that doesn't make sense. So if we meet these conditions, then we are going to reset the timer. We are going to reduce the number of units by 1, and we're going to put in the same print statement. And then finally, when we're happy with the number of units we want to move, we can press the enter key, and this will move the units. So what we've done is we've chosen a number of units to move, let's say 2. We need to decrease the number of units from the country we're moving units from and add them to the country we're moving units to. So that's going to be c from the units minus equals self.move n units, and c2 is going to be plus equals because we're moving them there. So move n units, and then again some print statements. So moved move n units from move country from, and we're moving them to self.move country to. And then finally, once we've moved these units, we can reset all of our variables. So actually I can just copy and paste this here. So let's go back to our game and and try it out. So first I'm going to place a few units. Of course, at the start of the game we can't move any units because we only have one country. So I'm going to, let's say, attack from France, attack Italy. That was a win. So now I'm going to move back to the move units phase. So we're going to be moving from France, moving to Italy, and I'm going to move 3 units. So we should see France go from 5 to 2 and Italy go 1 to 4. And yep, that seems to be working. Okay, great. So the last thing we're going to do in this episode is have a reset turn method inside the player class, and then include that in the game class such that if we have finished the phase cycle, so that's placing units, moving units, attacking, then we're going to reset everything for the player. So reset turn, none. I'm going to reset the timer, going to reset the movement variables, and I'm going to just copy and paste this stuff. So that's there. We need to reset the attacking variables. Where are they? Here. And the other thing we need to do for resetting the attacking variables is for each of the countries we control, we need to make sure that it has attacked set equal to false, so that we can use these countries to attack in the next turn. So for country in self.controlled countries, extract it from the world, and we're going to set has attacked equal to false, and I'm going to print reset turn. And then to trigger this reset turn, what I'm going to do is move over to the game class, move down to the logic where we move between phases, and I'm going to say if the self.phase is equal to the first phase, which is place units, then we're going to reset the turn. So self.player dot reset turn, and so let's try this out. So I'm going to add some units to France. I'm going to attack Spain. Okay, we won, but we have nothing to move, so I'm going to place some units now. I can place some. We can see in the console that the turn has been reset. Now to the moving phase, let's move a couple of units from France to Spain. Yeah, it seems to be working. Then I'm going to attack from France here. Okay, so that we lost that battle, which is why Belgium has not taken the colour of France. And now we're going to attack from Spain to Portugal, which was a victory, and now it becomes part of our controlled countries. Okay, so this is all we're going to do in this episode because it's already quite long. This is the majority of the player logic, so this is already a kind of game, albeit there's no kind of AI to play against. You can just each turn take over new countries in Europe. The other thing that we want to do in the next episodes will be taking all of this information that we are currently printing to the console and including it in some sort of UI within the game, because obviously it's not very nice just looking at text in a console. We actually want to display it in a nice way within the game. So that's one of the things that we will do in the next episode. Okay, thanks.